I would like to, I would like to tell you something really scary. But if you give me permission, I'll say. If you tell me, no, Rabbi, I'm going to get scared, I won't be able to sleep at night, I'm going to skip it. Huh? You don't think you're going to get scared? Look at my face. What if you get scared? You going to stay like this till the end? Okay. Rabbi Levi said he's going to stay. Okay? This week's Parsha. What's the name of the Parsha? Chukat. What should have been the name of the Parsha? What should have been the name of the Parsha? Parsha Chukat. What should have been the name of the Parsha? Huh? Miriam. Very good. Huh? Aaron. Or why Miriam? They both passed away on the 6th Parsha. When did Miriam pass away, Jewish calendar? Month of Nisan, 10th of Nisan, okay? When Aaron passed away, that's the only date the Torah mentions. 1st of Av, Rosh Chodesh Av. Very good, perfect. Question to you. What's the name of the Parsha should have been? Parashat Chukat should have been Parashat Egel. Why? Midrash brings the mashal. There was a king, he had a palace, he invited all the guests. Came one kid and sat on the floor in the palace and made number 2. They said, hey, mother, come over here, clean the dirt of your baby. Okay? So that's the mashal. The mother is the para aduma, red cow. The baby is Egel HaZahav, the golden calf. So Torah says the golden calf, the sin on the golden calf, let the red cow come and pure the sin. So why the name of the Parsha changed then? Let's go to Chukat. So Mullah Aaron will come home on Shabbat. His rebbetzin will ask him, where were you? I was in Shul, Rabbi Akilov Shul. Oh yeah, what was the Parsha? Parashat Egel HaZahav. Oh, you man, you all cheaters. You all cheat and this. So basically, Shabbat will turn to Shabbat Shabbat. So Hashem said, Moshe, name the Parsha what? Chukat. You come home, your rebbetzin asks you, no, what about Chukat? What is Chaim? I'll explain you later anyway. Chok, nobody understands the law, whatever. Okay. Case goes, Shalom Bayit. Your Shabbat is Shabbat. Okay, red cow. What do you do with a red cow? Para aduma. What do? You burn it fully, right? You take the ashes and mix with what? With the water. Today we asked in Gemara Sota. Of course. We learned today 3 things has to be visible. Remember that 3 things has to be visible? What has to be visible?
The water.
The water of what?
Sota.
The water of Sota. You're putting ashes? Not ashes. Dirt. The dirt has to be visible there. Okay, that's one Gemara. Right, it says in Gemara Sota page 16. B. Tetzayin Amud Bet. Second is the water of Paraduma, red cow, has to be visible over there. Ashes has to be visible in the water. And the third one has to be visible what?
Spit of the Yavama.
The spit of the Yavama. When Yavam, 2 brothers, one of them passed away, second has 2 brothers, his brother's wife, right? Has to marry his brother's wife. And or he or she says no, she has to spit on the shoe that he doesn't want to continue his brother's family, right, Yoshua? So when she spits, it has to be a thick spit. That spit has to be seen. Comes Ben Yoyada. Who's Ben Yoyada? Ben Ishchai. Ben Ishchai is asking question. Ben Ish Chai is asking a question, so 1 second. Why nobody said you have to see tzitzit? We say Shema Yisrael every day, Uritem, Oto has to be seen, no? So why Baraita doesn't bring this as a fourth visible thing? You have to see tzitzit, visible, no? So Ben Ish Chai gives 2 answers. He says, answer number 1. A, all those 3 things that Torah has to be visible, Torah doesn't say explicitly. Chachamim learned through the Dirasha. But here by tzitzit says explicitly, openly, you can't get wrong. Number 1. Number 2. Answer number 2 is deeper. It says, all these mitzvot, this has to be visible, you don't do nothing. Tzitzit has to be worn. When you wear them, not just see what your friend is wearing. No, you have to wear it, then you have to see. By Shema Yisrael, when you say the 3rd chapter, by Parashat Tzitzit, right? When it says, Uritem oto uzchartem et kol mitzvot Hashem v'asitem otam. You have to see the tzitzit and remember all the mitzvot. When you have to wear the tzitzit yourself. Huh? First, she has to be seen this. If it's not seen, the drink is not going to help. Drinking afterwards. Tzitzit doesn't say you have to see and then wear it. Tzitzit after you wear it, then Uritem oto, it says. What's the proof? דבר בני ישראל ואמרת להם ועשו להם ציצית. דו ציצית, הקפה בקדם לדולתם ונתנו ציצית. הכנף פתית לחלת והיה לכם לציצית. And then what? וראיתם אותו. After you wear it. Okay. Yael, I'm here. Okay.
Is that also a person cannot wear tzitzit they do making a sin? Is there a reason also a person cannot wear tzitzit one if they're making a sin? Or if they had it on, they cannot wear it?
Sorry, when I was talking to you, I was thinking some different chidush. Yes, sorry.
What do you think?
One more time.
If a person has tzitzit on, right, underneath the clothes, under the garment, he cannot wear it, he has to take it off after, if he makes a sin, or if he has it on, he takes it off, he doesn't have it on, he cannot wear it?
If person wears tzitzit, makes sin, he has to take it off? Which sin we're talking
cannot
about?
wear it anymore?
Which sin we're talking about?
We're talking about tzitzit.
Whatever the...
We're not talking about the sin.
Stop. Why he has to have tzitzit off? I don't understand.
I'm just curious, I think you mentioned something. You said once, I think, can I have wear it anymore? Stop doing this because it's doing it. No, that's not what I'm That's one of my things. I think of like that.
No matter what, tzaddik falls. It means at the moment Yetzer Hara beating. It's not important. It's not terrible if you fall. The terrible thing in life is when you remain falling. It says, Shema Yipol Tzaddik Vekam. Tzaddik falls 7 times and he gets up. If he gets up, he's tzaddik. If he falls, no, he's a failure. A Jew never should pay attention on the sin that they sin. Yes, it's a terrible thing. You sin, you made a mistake. But to look at himself, I sinned, I cannot wear tzitzit now. I shouldn't wear tefillin now. I shouldn't go to mikvah. I shouldn't walk around with kippah. I shouldn't keep Shabbat. That's wrong. A split second that person fell in, he should get up and say, hey, I don't care about Yetzer Hara. I could care less about who he is. I'm attaching myself with Hashem. I will never do it again, and put tzitzit down. You understand? Tzitzit or tefillin or anything. Move on. Our job is always to keep going forward. Never stop. Never stop. And that is the success in life. I was thinking today, our 3 prophets had such a zuchut. We had because of them salvation in the desert. Because of Moshe Rabbeinu, 40 years fell man. Because of Aaron HaKohen, 40 years we had Ananei HaKavod. What's Ananei HaKavod? Clouds of glory. And because of Miriam, 40 years we had what? Water. Can you imagine? I was just thinking, I'm bored. When I'm bored, sometimes I'm thinking. When you have prophecy, when you're happy. So it means this 40 years they had to be happy. If one day they would not be happy, man would go away, well would go away, clouds would go away. Who would suffer? The entire Jewish nation. This is what Satan tried to do to us. If person fights, we already fight. We wake up in the morning, we go to Sha'arei, and then we go to Mincha, and then we go to Army, then we come sometimes to Shiurim, and there are Shiurim. Satan comes to break you. If you pay attention, concentrate on your falling, why am I falling? Meanwhile, your family is suffering. Klal is suffering. No matter what, don't give that rulership of your happiness to your Yetzer Hara. Stand up and say, okay, I fell, I'm going to fight back. Do you understand? That's true Jew. That's the happy Jew. That's true enjoyment. If you promise me you're not going to be upset if I tell something scary, you're not going to get scared, you're going to still sleep at night, I'll tell you something really scary I saw through Chida today. And if you tell me, no, Rabbi, not today, we're in such a good mood, as is, it's hot outside, so I'm going to just keep it. Huh?
You don't have to be happy afterwards anyway.
You can't
Oh,
like that.
so I gave you a nice introduction. You have to be happy. Now I could bomb it. But understand one thing. I did not make this shiur to scare you. I'm not scary guy. And I'm not, my point is to bring you close to Hashem, not from fear. No. My point is to bring you closer to Hashem with happiness and love. This is the proper way to do. But I saw something very beautiful I would like to share with you. How you prepare para aduma? How do you prepare para aduma? Lakach HaKohen etz erez. What's etz erez? A cedar tree. In Bukhari we call it lilac. Tall tree. Cedar tree. Tall. You know tall? Why tall? So that's person thinks, do you know who I am? Gava. I'll big shot. Tall. Ve'ezov and Hesov. Ushni tolat. What's ushni tolat? It's a red dye or red wool. They take a worm's color and they put on the wool. The question is, what has to do with worm? What has to do with worm? All the time, we learned chidushim about David HaMelech says, "Va'anochi tolad v'lo ish." David HaMelech says, and I am like a worm and not a person. What does that mean? Worm, what keeps worm moving?
Mouth.
His mouth. He grabs into something with his mouth and then drags his entire body. Sometimes in life you feel very down. What can lift you up? Your prayers. Say, Hashem, I'm going to take my mouth, attach to you, and drag my body up with my prayer. Do you understand? Once you pray that way, your Shmoneh Esrei is different. You feel Hashem, you're not only thinking. Sifrei Musar say, before you start Shmoneh Esrei, you have to know. Big ear right in front of your mouth, listening to you. Not physical, spiritual, that's Hashem.
What does God have to do with prayer?
Take para aduma here.
No, yeah, but we use also.
Why do you need para aduma? Person became impure, right?
Yeah, so you said
Why person becomes impure?
touch
Touch dead body, or tzara, or tuma, or lashon hara, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
We said the ingredients.
Yeah.
One was a tall tree, which corresponds to Gava. And we said the worm is tefillah. What's the connection between?
The worm is Yoshua, you get scared? I also would get scared. A worm is like humbleness.
The opposite.
The opposite of it. Hesav also, short grass. Tall tree, short grass. Hey! What's the worm, right? You promise you're not going to get scared? You sure? I warn you. See, I'm warning. I'm being nice. Okay? One more time. I want to say thank you to the person who sent the text message today. I don't know who's this person. but they sent text message saying, thank you for sending the Hashem Shurim, we love it. Last week, my wife and I were somewhere, and someone came up to me and said, Rabbi, what is this? You're not sending Shurim? What happened? I'm really waiting for it. I want to say thank you to anyone that for this 6, 7 years reached out to us saying thank you, we're listening. It gives me motivation to practice more. Today I saw something beautiful. I would like to share with you all. It doesn't mean I'm trying to scare you. No, I want to show you how strong you are. If you're ready to understand it right away, I'm going to tell you. But if you say, no, I'm going to get scared, I'm going to stop it. Yeah, you gave me your word? Okay. Chida says, there were two philosophers sitting. Philosopher, genius person, smart people. Two, I mean, if they are not connected with Hashem, they're Rashaim, but we're talking about the tzaddikim. Two genius people said, one of them said, do you know why we control the animals? And he said, you know why we control the animals? Why do we control the animals? Because we eat them. We control animals, Rabbi Gavriel Tzaddik. We control the animals because we eat them. You eat cow, you control cow. You eat sheep, you control sheep. You eat chicken, you control chicken. You take the chicken, say, go stay in the cage. Come out. Right, wrong? So the second philosopher said, if so, worms should be controlling us.
Worms?
Because after 120, person goes to grave, the first thing, start eating a person what? Worm. So let's control. You promise me you're not going to run away, right? Stay here.
I'm not run away.
The worms are eating us, no? So they should be controlling us. Says Chida something very deep. It's true, he says. Worm controlling a person who has gava. A person speaks lashon hara about somebody. A person who thinks I'm big, big, big. Why do we put tolat? Why do we put ushni tolat on the ingredients? Say, hey, you forgot to be humble. And worm controlled you. And this is why you had gaiva. But now, we take the worm and put on the ingredients. And they will sprinkle on you. We take that worm out of you. So worm should not control you. Now, I want to use the back chidush, which is Birkei Yosef and das Chida, and this Chida. My chidush to this is like this. If person is not tzaddik and is being controlled by his yetzer hara, yes, you're right, worm controls him. But what if he's tzaddik? He's anam, he's humble. You look at a person in public, in private, outside, indoor, outdoor, you see him as a humble, you think, wow, this guy looks like a lowlife. He's so like, he looks like a nobody. He looks like a soul down. But you don't understand. He's the biggest tzaddik. You know why? He's not only controlling the animals, he's controlling even a worm. Because person who's humble, he's controlling the worms. That's what this Parsha is saying. And this is what Chida is bringing here in Nachal Kedumim, letter Tet Zayin. Today we learn Gemara Sota Tet Zayin. Here's Tet Zayin also. It says, Ala Gava Shemishu Etz Erez. Talking about Gava, a person like a tall tree, like a cedar tree. You know what? I do this, I control this. Yashpil Atzmo Ke'ezol. He should be like a short ezol, like a short bushes. Ve'il'eh shehu shni tolat. He should look at himself like I am a tiny worm. Ki hatolat rishon she'ochel haguf, because the worm is the first to eat person's body. But if person, okay, but if person is humble, he controls this worm. I'm sorry if I scared you. I didn't mean to. So I'll tell you something funny for you to laugh a little bit. Can we? Can I tell something funny to you, love?
Go on.
There were two donkeys.
Oh, I didn't know.
Ding-ding-ding. There were two donkeys. One had sponge on it,
Okay.
and one had over it salt. So they were walking in the whatever, from hill to hill. They were walking. One is making fun of another one. He says, the one that had sponge, he looks at the second donkey, the one with the salt. He says, I am so light and you're so heavy. I am like human being and you like a real donkey. So why are you making fun of me? He says, because look, I am light, I could jump around, and you cannot move because you're all filled up with the salt. Now they were walking, still this light donkey making fun of heavy donkey with the salt. Now they had to go through the lake. They had to go through the lake. Meanwhile, they're going through the lake, the salt is melting, and sponge is absorbing. Once they came out of the lake, now the one with the salt says, wow, I feel so relieved. Walking a second, I'm moving, everything is okay with you? He says, I get one. He said, once again, can I ask you a question here? Who's the real donkey now? Sometimes we pay money for our children to be Talmidei Chachamim. We hire this rabbi, that rabbi, this Talmid Chacham, that Talmid Chacham. Baruch Hashem, now Sha'arei Eliyahu has available room. You could come with your friend and learn. You know, Chavruta, that's right. Some people make fun of people who give money to children education. They say, you crazy? You give your money for this? Go send to free stuff. Why do you need this for? And then comes the true world.
Oh, yeah.
Olam HaEmet. When the kid gets up, Talmid Chacham gives shiur, gives Kaddish al Israel for Leilui Nishmat of his deceased relative. That relative flashed to Gan Eden, level to level, Nachat Ruach here, there. And the guy who made fun of him said, you're a Jew, you this, you that, you did this, you did that, you paid money for this, you paid money for that, I could do everything for free. Then he says, oh, what happened? He says, 1 second, you made fun of me in that world. What happened now? Where are you? Where am I? I would like to, before we start the Hashem show, tell you something really interesting. I learned today. It's a story, but it's so true. But you have to understand it like, who learned this Gemara every day? You know there's a rule, klal, uprat, uklal. Who remembers? Today we learned it in Gemara. What means klal, uprat, uklal? General rule, specific rule, and general rule. Right? Give me one siddur, please. What? Oh, this guy is genius. We have 13 ways how to learn Torah. And these 13 ways, we say this Mishnah every day in the morning. Before we start Kaddish al Israel, we say, Rabbi Ishmael Omer, Bishlosh Esrei Midot HaTorah Nidreshet. There are 13 characters that Torah is explained. Mikal Vachomer, we'll learn the light one from the heavy one, simple from strict. Mikzera Shava, the same words, written over there, Gzera Shava. Mibinyana vekatuv echad, mibinyana shne ketuvim, miklal uprat, miprat uklal. Klal uprat uklal. What's klal uprat uklal? Let's say it says by Metzorah. You know Metzorah? What's Metzorah? Levi. You want to get married? The story about marriage. By Metzorah it says, get me Gemara, I don't know Gemara about. Get me Sotah. והתגלח את כל שערו, okay? And he shaved all his hair. את ראשו ואת זקנו ואת גבות עיניו. His head you have to shave, his beard and his eyebrows. And then it says, ואת כל שערו יגלח. And all his hair you shave. So, the first law says what? Cloud, general rule. Right, we'll learn it. That's Zayin Amud Bet. 16b. How it starts? Vaya bayom hashvi, and on the 7th day of Metzorah, Yigalach et kol sa'aro. They shaved off all his hair. What does that mean? General or specific? All his hair. What does that mean? General. All his hair. What is that? General rule. Then it says what? Et losho ve'et zikano ve'et gabot enav. His head, his beard, and his eyebrows. What is that? Specific. And then what it says? Ve'et kol sa'aro yigaleach. And all his hair, you shave. There was Rabbi Harav Yoshiyah. His name was like this. I believe I said his name right. He wrote a book by the name Chukat Torah. When he was getting married, he was 19, 20 years old, Shidduchim. So they called him, the father of the Kala, called him to the restaurant to check him. If he knows Torah or no. They came, but they called him in the hotel. They came to the hotel, and there's no books, only Sidur. Why Sidur? People eat something because Amazon, but no Gemara, no Mishnah, no nothing. So he said, I don't know how to check you. I want to know if you Talmid Chacham. How am I going to give you my daughter, but I need to see if you Talmid Chacham. So teach me something. So, Baal Chanukat Torah, he said, let me tell you something, Chidush on this Mishnah. Why do we say this Mishnah every day? A, it's a 13 proper ways to learn Torah. B, that's the only Mishnah in the whole Shas, there is no machloket. That's the only Shas in the whole Mishnah. There's no arguments. There's no machloket here.
Which Gemara is that?
Huh?
Which Gemara is that?
Forgot. I have to look it up. I don't want to say it wrong. I remember I forgot. Okay. So it says, why Mishnah starts? Rabbi Ishmael Omer. Rabbi Ishmael says, I have 3 questions on this. Chatan says, future Chatan. He says, A, Rabbi Ishmael Omer should have been what? Amar Rabbi Ishmael. When they say Rabbi Ishmael says, when there's argument, no? Why do you have to say Rabbi Ishmael Omer? When you say Rabbi Ishmael Omer, you say Rabbi Akiva Omer, this, Rabbi Ishmael Omer, this. When there's machloket, you say Rabbi Ishmael Omer. Rabbi Ishmael says. But if there's no machloket, how do you start? Amar Rabbi Ishmael. Amar Rabbi Azulai, Amar Rabbi Chanina, right? This is how you start. If there's no argument, you start Amar. So question number 2 is this, how can a person name his son Ishmael if Ishmael was Rasha? Remember Ishmael? Whose brother was Ishmael? Whose brother was Ishmael? Yitzchak Avinu's brother. Who said Yaakov? Yaakov's brother is Esau, brother. So it says, A, how can it start Rabbi Ishmael Omer number 1? Why it says Ishmael number 2? And also, do we have order in the Torah or no? Huh? Do we have order in the Torah? Where? Bereshit? Bereshit, Shemot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, no. Only Dvarim order. 4 first books, no order. En Mukdam u'Meuchar b'Torah. There's no order in the Torah. So why when we just now learned general law, specific law, and a general law, who said what we learned is right? If there's no order in the Torah, if it starts general, specific, general, it means the law of the general should be like specific.
2 versus 1.
But still, the law is, when it comes general, specific, general, the law has to be in a general the way it's in the specific. Okay? So specific is the main. But the question is, who said that's the order? Maybe there's no order in the Torah. Maybe it should be general, specific, or general, specific, specific. Did you answer the question or no? I know I confused you all, but if you listen to the shiur one more time, it's clear. So this guy answered to the point. He said, 1 second. Why the name Ishmael should be by rabbi's name if Ishmael was Rasha? 2, why it says Rabbi Ishmael Omer? And 3, how do we follow general, specific, general if there's no Mukdam Mukhar Torah, if there's no order in the Torah? And he gave 3 answers, beautiful answers. Number 1, he said, that's the proof that Ishmael made teshuvah. Usually it's Amar Rabbi Ishmael should be, because there's no machloket, right? There's no machloket. But it says Rabbi Ishmael Omer. Why Rabbi Ishmael Omer? Rabbi Ishmael, to show you the original Ishmael made teshuvah before he passed away. Why? When Avraham Avinu passed away, it says Yitzchak and Ishmael went to bury their father. Why it says Yitzchak's name's first? Because Ishmael said, listen, you Talmid Chacham, you go first. Once he respected Torah scholar, it means he made teshuvah. Okay? So because he respected Torah scholar, how do we know he made teshuvah? Because his name is mentioned. Rabbi Ishmael Omer. What's Rabbi Ishmael Omer? Not Amar Rabbi Ishmael. Rabbi Ishmael Omer. That's the proof. I mentioned to you Ishmael's name here, that he made teshuvah then. But the question is, how can you say general, specific, general if there's no order in Torah? He says, you're right. In the Torah there is no orders. But in one sentence there is for sure order. Inside one sentence, inside one pasuk, there is an order there. That guy got up and said, listen, you my chatan, you're such a big Talmid Chacham from Sidur, you gave me Gemara shiur over here, you my Talmid Chacham, you my domot. He took him as a chatan, huh? In one pasuk, do we say order or no? Let's say, we say, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Is there order in the pasuk or there's no orders in this pasuk? Of course there's order. If there's no pasuk, you understand? It's a problem. So therefore, we say klal. Why? Because we're talking about the same pasuk. In the pasuk, there is order. In one sentence, there is order. Okay, guys, I would like to go to Zera Shimshon. Do not do nothing. Just stay. Zera Shimshon today, 8 minutes Zera Shimshon. But for these 8 minutes, we're going to learn something very deep. I'll tell you one thing. Ask yourself a question. Rabbi Yaakov, ask yourself a question. Today, 2024, you went out of your way, you could be sleeping on a couch, or going to any shiur, and you came here to Zera Shimshon shiur. What you did good to you, and what you did good to your children? Answer your question. Today's Zera Shimshon will answer your question.